All right, today is January 7th, 2026. Look, I said it right. Always the challenge at the beginning of every year. Today's session is in our Business Mastery series in the Business with Purpose group. If you're not in there, make sure you're in that group. We have a whole Business Mastery series that's going to be on steroids. It's actually starting to grow really quickly. Today's session is called How to Attract the Right Customers. This is my favorite event. It's my favorite thing to teach because when I had my school and I owned a tutoring business, it had an after-school program, a summer camp. We had a private school. We had so many things. It was kids, pre-K to even college. And when I learned the things that I'm going to teach you today, and I learned it on my own, making a lot of mistakes. So I don't want you to make all these mistakes. I'm going to give it to you straight. When I learned some of these tips that I'm going to share with you today, it changed everything for my business, everything. So today is about how to attract the right customers. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people argue with me all the time. I say, "Who's your ideal customer?" And they say, "Oh, everybody. I can help everybody." How many of you have heard that or said that? Please don't raise your hand if you said that because I don't want to hear that you said that because that is not true. I'll argue with you all the time. The biggest mistake people do this is the biggest mistake. I've worked with thousands of entrepreneurs, is that they think they have create marketing messages to talk to everybody. And the problem with that is it wastes time, your time, money, and energy. And we don't have, we have a limited supply of that. So I really want you to understand by the end of this event today that you're not going to market to everyone. You're going to find the people that are actually going to pay you, because the people that tell me they can help everyone, they don't have any money and they're wasting all this time talking to everybody instead of focusing on individual people who are actually going to pay you. Okay? Now, a story that I have is about this girl named Janet. Tell the story a lot because it makes a lot of sense. So Janet on the left, she's a health coach. Okay, I went to an event with her, and she came to me after they did the introductions in the circle, and she said, "Sue, I don't understand. Nobody wants to talk to me, and everybody wants to talk to the other health coach that was sitting right next to me." And I said, What did you say?" And she said, "Hi, I'm Janet. I'm a health coach." I said, "What did the other girl say?" And that girl said, and I put it on the screen so you wouldn't forget, "Hi, I'm Pat. I'm a health coach. I specialize in helping overweight women with knee problems." A line of people wanted to talk to her. Why? Because they can picture and immediately either they had the issue or they knew somebody who had that issue and they wanted to talk to her. So this is where I want you to be. When you're talking to people, you can't just say one little thing that makes people go, "Oh, I don't really know who to send you to." You got to be really, really clear. So when you're really specific, people will be somewhere else. Maybe they'll be in another networking event and they'll meet somebody, let's say an overweight woman with knee problems, and you will instantly remember the person that you met to introduce them to. So you have to be that person that when you're talking to people, especially in Smart Connects and other networking events, being able to be really clear about that. So who is your ideal customer really? And a lot of people say, "Well, my target market is," but that your ideal customer is not your target market. Your target market, that's too big. Like if you say your target market's a woman over 40, well, that's a pretty big ocean of fish, right? You got to be really, really clear. It's not just anybody. Okay, your ideal customer is your single most profitable client. Okay, the one that you absolutely love working with. What makes your customer ideal? I love this one because you don't think about this all the time, all right? Your most profitable customer, there's really like four different things. Number one, they value your expertise and they don't haggle on the price. Aren't those great ideal customers? They just value everything that you do and they do not care how much it costs. Okay, I remember when I learned that. I'll tell you a story in a minute. The second one is they're a joy to work with. They energize you. You love them to death. I remember my very first client that I ever had when I decided to do business coaching after I sold my school. She did she helped people who are grieving. She was a grief recovery specialist, and she was just wanting to start her business. And she had an amazing story of her nephew drowning and all the grief things that they went through. And then her and her uh, sister started this whole thing. So anyway, oh my God, I loved working with her. She was so amazing. I loved meeting her for coffee and picking her brain and she did everything I told her to. I absolutely loved her. Okay. An ideal customer is someone that you actually like working with. You don't want someone that you see their phone number on the screen and you go on your phone and you go, oh, I don't want to talk to them. You don't want that kind of customer. The next one is they become your biggest advocates and they refer people to you all the time because they just love you. Okay. Those are really good, ideal referral partners and customers because they're going to tell everybody about you. And that's what happened with my tutoring business. I had a lot of people that I built such strong relationships with. They just told everybody. And the last one, they have the highest lifetime value. I teach a lot about lifetime value in a relationship marketing event that I do. That is how much your client is worth over the span of the lifetime that they're with you. Okay. Um, just to give you a little a little teaser here. Here's lifetime value. Think of this. People would come to my tutoring business, for example, and I think one of my average monthly fees was $500. So a lot of people would think, oh, that client's worth $500, right? Because that's what they pay you when they first come in. But if you multiply that by how many, maybe that's $500 a month. You multiply that by 12, then multiply that, which is a year, and then multiply that times the number of years you want them with you. Some of those things can turn into a heck of a lot of money. Trust me. I had a student that started when he was in first grade and he stayed with me till college. And they referred so many people to me. That one client was probably worth $1 million to my business, believe it or not. This is one of the biggest things, one of the most important things to know about your business. So that's what you want to think about when you're thinking about your ideal customer. So there's kind of a three-step journey here. So the first one is you want to identify who that is. I'm going to give you some tips on how to do that. Who has the most urgent need right now and the ability to pay you? You're going to identify who those people are. Then the second step is to understand them on a really deep personal level. Like what are their challenges in their life? What pains them? What makes them worry? What keeps them up at night? What are their fears? What are their desires? If you know everything about them so well, and a lot of times, just a little hint here, a lot of times people start businesses because they themselves were their ideal customer. So you might just look in the mirror a little bit and think about and really decide who that, making sure you really understand that ideal customer. And then the third one is creating marketing messages that actually speak to them, that make them feel so like, oh my God, you get me. I can't, I need to work with you because I can tell in your marketing messages that you totally get me. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you a little story here, before I show you the next screen. So, well, I will just do it on here. All right. This is a little story that my biggest mentor that I learned a lot of this stuff from told, and it really hit home. So think about this. Pretend that you have a bottle of water that you're selling and it's $20 because it does a lot of different things. And you have like three potential customers in front of you. All right, here they are. Let's go to this first lady right there with all the green. She's an eco-conscious person. She loves water, she's very green, all of that kind of thing. But if you say, hey, I have this bottle of water that's $20, what are the chances she's going to buy that? Especially if it's plastic, right? She might not like plastic bottles. So she's probably not a very good ideal customer. That middle person, that gal, okay, she's a marathon runner. She is in training. She wants to win this big race. She is on a mission, okay? And if you say this $20 bottle of water can actually help you win the race, it's going to help with your endurance. So that's like a 50-50 chance she might buy it. Maybe she's only going to buy it when she's in training. Okay. So it's kind of in the middle of being an ideal customer. But the third person, what if they have a health issue. Maybe they're dying. Like it could be a terrible thing that they're going through, a health problem that they're going through, but your $20 bottle of water could save their life. I mean, I'm going, or at least keep them on earth a little more, help them get over that health issue. How important is that? How many pallets of water are they going to buy if it could save their life? All right. Do you see I know that's a really crazy description, but I want you to really, really think about that. Who is just going to say, what do I write the check for? And can I buy all you have? I have a story about that I'll tell you in a minute. So, your most profitable customer is the one where your solution is not just like nice to have it, like the runner, but it's a must. I have to have it. I have to have it. That's who your ideal customer is. So that's ideal customer. We're going to get into more details, but your referral partner. Now on Alignable specifically, there's a thing called Alignable gives you a way to actually connect you. They can help connect you to your ideal customers, but more importantly than anything, it's your referral partners. Okay, that's what the superpower of Alignable is helping you find the right referral partner. So who are those? Those are your best allies. So on the left, you've got people who are your advocates, kind of like what I told you about just a minute ago. The people who know you, love you, trust you. They know you so well, and wherever they go, they're going to say, "Oh, you got to meet my friend Sue." Or you got to, they just love you. Okay, maybe they're not even a customer. They just know they trust you so much that if they meet somebody and they know who you're looking for, they're going to refer you. But okay. Now, on the right-hand side here, the synergists, those are ones that have synergy. Those are other businesses that serve your perfect ideal customer, but they're not a competitor. Here's an example. And this is what Alignable can help you with so easily on your profiles. Okay, so here's an example. So my friend Ligaya Kelly owns a dog kennels. Well, actually, she takes any pets. She has she's out on a farm. She's in Santa Clarita, California, and she has she's very successful business. Okay. So she will take animals, pets and stuff if they're on vacation or in an emergency, she has a place to board them. Okay. So her ideal customer are pet owners on the left there who need a place to bring their pets. And also, she has two actually. She also, on a completely different type of business, she actually um, coaches people who are in the pet industry. So that's another ideal customer of hers. So who's a good referral partner for her? Veterinarians, right? Because every single one of their customers owns a pet and they don't do boarding and vice versa. And I know for a fact, 'cause I've spent a lot of time with Ligaya. I've been to her place and she said, every day we get somebody asking for a referral for a veterinarian. And she said veterinarians every day get asked for a referral for a pet boarding. So they're like the perfect referral partners. So who is that for you? Who is that for you? Okay. Um, that is that's really the golden nugget of everything to really spend time on figuring out who that is. Okay. Now, I remember when I was starting a new business. After I sold my school, my whole thing was to become a business coach consultant. And help with marketing. And I really wanted to find people that want to start a business. That was like my whole thing. I wanted to help people start a business. And my mentor said, Sue, who's your ideal, most profitable customer? And I was like, oh, I know exactly who it is. And he said, well, did you do the research on it? And I said, no, I just know. Well, let me tell you, when he gave me a task to do and I had to do the research, I was completely wrong. Completely wrong. This was the biggest thing I learned when I was trying to figure all this stuff out. So I thought my perception on the left here was that a stay-at-home mom over 40, the kids were grown, and she wanted to start a business because she'd just been a stay-at-home mom. Now, I knew a lot of those ladies. Um, uh, when I had my tutoring business. There were a lot of them. When the kids went off to college, a lot of them wanted to do that. So I just assumed that that would be my ideal customer. But when I did all this research, this is way before ChatGPT and even a lot of the big internet stuff that you could do, I learned the truth. The reality The people that actually wanted to pay somebody to help them start a business were younger men. They were college educated. They realized after they got out of college and tried to look for a job, they could make more money and have more freedom to start a business. And that's what they wanted to do. That was the biggest one. It was funny. I had this big event. I used to do these 3-day seminars on igniting your business, and these guys came in, this exact avatars came in. There were three of them that came together, and I asked them, and it was like they were my ideal customers. They found the events. It was amazing. So your assumptions could be completely wrong. You have to do the research. And what's amazing, I'll give you a little tool at the end, but there's so much, just ChatGPT in general, but there are some really detailed, a lot of tools out there that you can use to do that research. You don't have to spend months doing it like I did in the past. Okay, next. Um, here are three ways to help you identify your ideal customers, okay? First of all, the number one here, you can interview. This is what I did with the lady I told you that I love to work with, the grief recovery specialist. I used to take her to lunch. I would give her my marketing materials and ask her if it spoke to her. I wanted to find more people like her. I just wanted to clone her, right? So I would interview her. So figure out who your best customers are, that if you could just clone them and you had 100 or 1,000 or whatever, however many you want of them, you would be very, very successful and happy. Okay. So if you have a dream customer, like it says, take them to coffee, get to know them, get them on on a personal level. Ask them to review your marketing copy, like give you their 2 cents. Like that's a really good one. The middle one is what I did when I had my tutoring business and I was doing tutoring for a long time. And then all of a sudden, I had to start an after school program through a series of things that happened. I was forced by my customers, they wanted an after school program. Someone that would pick their kids up from school, bring them back, and get all their homework done and everything. So by the time they got home from driving, this was like north of Los Angeles. So they would have 2, 3 hour uh, they would have to drive that far to go to work and come back. And so I had to start an after school program and they begged me to do that. Well, I knew nothing about that. So what I did is I spied on my competitors, the other people that had been doing that, the successful ones. Make sure you're not spying on the ones that aren't successful. Okay. But I visited them. I looked at their marketing materials. I looked at their websites. I looked at their everything. Like where were they marketing? Were they saying? How did they do things? And then I just made mine better. So spying on your successful competitors is a really good way to figure out who that ideal customer is. And the third one is online research. Like that's your chat GPT now. Google has a lot of tools. You can find what's trending out there. There's all kinds of things that you can do to research that. Okay. Now, why does all this matter so much? Okay. The bottom line is this. It's what the title of this event was. Whoops. Um, when you get this right, when you get the messages right, and you know exactly who you're talking to, and you know them so well that you speak to them, they go, oh my gosh, I understand you, right? That's when you can create your marketing messages that act just like a magnet. Okay, it's not all those people there, all those great people there. It's going to magnetize the people that you want, those ideal best customers that you love working with, that have the money to pay you, that's going to make it so, so, so easy. Okay. Now, when I figured all this out for my tutoring visit, my after school program, I should say, here was my after school program. We created after I did all that research and went and looked at the competitors and what they didn't offer and what I could offer is we would pick the kids up from school, we bring them back, and none of the other after school programs would get their homework done for them. And that's what I would get all the time when I just had a tutoring business. These poor parents that would call me in tears because they were paying all this money for after school programs and they'd have to pick up their kids and then fight with them with homework. So I just put it all together. So I created this amazing program where we would do that. So when all these parents that were driving 2 and 3 hours to and from work would come home, they could just, they didn't have to worry about any of that anymore. They could just have fun with their family and have a nice dinner and everything. So guess what? My marketing message was that was like, this was my $1 million marketing message that changed everything, that got my phone to literally ring off the hook. And it was this: no more homework headaches. Get your family time back. That was it. And you know how many people called and said, I have a headache? It was amazing. But here's what I want you to understand, you guys, in your marketing materials, okay? I was not selling tutoring in my marketing. This does not say anything about tutoring. It says family time. That's what they were buying. You get it? They were buying family time, not tutoring. That is the biggest message I want you to walk away with today. And I'm just remembering right now this lady, when I moved to Northern California and I was networking like crazy, and this girl, she was selling hemp, some kind of oil, like CBD hemp oil. In Northern California, they grow all that stuff. And so a lot of people were selling that. And I would ask her about her product, and all she would do was sit there and tell me how it would change the molecules and and all these things, your cells in your body, and what it would do to your brain. And my eyes just started spinning around in my head, and I was like, is it going to take my pain away? Like, is it going to help me? How's it going to help me? She never talked about what your life would look like if you used this product. It was how it worked inside your body, which I couldn't care less. Nobody cares about how it works. It's like when people, if you say, okay, I'm going to see over in Hawaii, it's just beautiful there. Your life, when if you go to Hawaii, this island, you could call it, somebody used to call it this pleasure island. People are over here on Pain Island. They're having all these issues and they're in pain of some sort. And they want to get to this island that's beautiful, and their life is all great and perfect, and there's no stress, and they're healthy or whatever issues. They don't have that over there. If you said, I have the boat to get you there, do they even care what kind of boat it is? Or airplane? They don't care. They don't care what kind of engine it has. They don't care anything about how it is built. Okay? They care that you can get them there. That's it. And when I had this advertisement right here, they just wanted family time. They wanted to have a nice, beautiful time with their family after working hard and being on the road for hours. So, to give you a little visual, the problem was they were exhausted. They were fighting LA traffic. They were picking up their kids from daycare. Then they'd have to fight with them with homework, or they would pay me when I had just a tutoring business. They'd drive them to me, and then they wouldn't even get home till late, and they'd stop at McDonald's and get food. Okay. My solution was an after school program that picked them up, got their homework done, and they could just, and the message and the outcome was that they would wouldn't have homework headaches anymore. Okay. So I will tell you something really quick. When I did that, I was I was at a point in my business where I had to raise my prices. Okay. I realized that I was trying to be the cheapest in the beginning, and because I wanted to help so many people, but I was at a point where, hey, I have this brick and mortar business. I had to hire more tutors. I needed to charge more. And guess what happened when I got this messages right? I got more people. I was the most expensive, the highest priced after school program in the entire driving distance of where I was located. And people still promoted me. And my customers told everybody about it, and they didn't leave. Okay. That's the message I want you to take away here. All right. So this next story is one of my favorites. It's a multi-million dollar shift in ideal customers. All right, so this is not my story. I wish it was, but my friend, I just love this story. I have to repeat it all the time because it's so good. My friend John used to do SEO for people. He's a big digital marketer. I'll share his information later, but He had all these customers. They would pay him a fortune to try to get them to be at the top of Google. Okay. So he was a digital marketer. He would create marketing messages. And he had this client that sold, his product was water sport toys, like fins, masks, snorkels, inner tubes, any kind of water toys. Okay. That's what he had. Okay. That was what he sold. And his number one ideal client at the time were big resorts, people that had big resorts like in Phoenix, in, Hawaii, whatever, where people were coming, they're going to the resorts and they had all these water sports that they could use. So those were his biggest clients. Well, one year, my friend John would say, okay, well, let's go over this. Is your ideal client still these things? What's your most profitable thing you sell? He asked him. He said, what's your most profitable product that you sell? And he said, oh, water slides. And my friend was like, water slides? I thought it was just toys. No, he said, I make more money, more profit on water slides. So they changed the whole marketing message to whatever the marketing message was. And within a couple of weeks, the guy is sitting at home and he picks up the phone rang. And the lady goes, hi, this is Celine Dion. And he hung up on her because he thought it was a joke. This is a true story. She called back because she thought they got cut off. Thank goodness for him. And when she called back, he realized it really was her. And he said, how can I help you? She said, well, I'm in Las Vegas and I want a water slide built in my backyard for my kids. And he said, well, how'd you hear about me? She goes, you were at the top of Google. I mean, the message, it looks like you're the one person that I want to hire. And so that afternoon, she flew him out to Las Vegas. I think it was in LA, and paid him $1 million to build this water slide in her backyard. One client, $1 million. Okay, you guys, he'd have to sell a heck of a lot of water toys to make $1 million to probably a lot of different people. But he changed everything about his message. And what happened? He started getting clients paying him $1 million to build water slides like this in Celine Dion's backyard. Okay. And then one more thing that happened after that, when he came back to John and said, okay, I want to change everything. I want to build whole water parks. And he's like, you can do that? He said, yeah, I want to build water parks. So they changed the marketing message again. And a month or so later, he called and he said, you're not going to believe this. He said, I just got a client for a water park. They're going to pay me $100 million to build a water park in Dubai. One client, $100 million. What would that do to your business if you could just change one little marketing message to get a much bigger client? So you have fewer clients and more profit. So to give you a visual, starts with being general, the mask, fins, snorkels, and inner tubes. He niched down to water slides, got that $1 million sale for Celine Dion. And then he niched down even further. So niches, that's so important. He got that $100 million contract. Okay. So the more specific that you can be with your expertise, the bigger problems you can solve, that's when more clients are going to pay you or pay you the bigger bucks. Okay. The next one I want to go over is this. This was kind of interesting. So how many of you read The 4 Hour Work Week? That's an amazing book if you haven't. Super duper famous book. I don't know how many millions of copies it sold. Well, when Timothy Ferriss first wrote the book, this wasn't it. It was something around outsourcing. He titled the book something about outsourcing because that's what the book's about. It's about outsourcing. Okay. And guess what? He didn't sell very many copies. It wasn't working. He didn't even change the inside of the book. He just changed the title to 4 Hour Work Week, because when you do outsourcing, that makes you so you don't have to work so hard, right? Because you're outsourcing. But he made the whole marketing message in the title of the book the 4 Hour Work Week, because that message focused on freedom, a lifestyle, getting out of the 9 to 5. That attracted, look how many millions of copies of that book he sold just because of that one thing. He didn't even change the inside of the book. Amazing. Okay. So You got to really think about that too. If whatever it is you're selling, what is that message? What is that message that's going to attract the right ones? Now, here's the next thing. Once you get all that right, you get that all right, and you know exactly who that ideal customer is, guess what? You know where to find them. That's when you can really figure out where they hang out. Okay. For me, it was with when I wanted business owners, when I sold that my tutoring business and I was wanting to help people start businesses, I knew that they or expand their businesses. I knew where they were hanging out. I would go find, chambers of commerce or wherever that was. Alignable was a big one, right? Because there's a lot of people on there. So figure out where they are. And you don't have to go to every single social media thing. Just go where they are, where they're located. Okay. Meetup is a great place because I haven't been on there in a long time, but I found a lot of niched ideal customers at meetups. Okay, like for my tutoring business, when I brought in a homeschool program, I would find all the meetups for homeschool moms, right? So figure out where they are, and it's real easy when you know who your customer is. Okay. Uh, this is one of my favorite stories. I don't know how many of you know my good friend Fran Jessie. She's amazing. She's turned 81 last year, and she's a serial entrepreneur, one of the smartest women, and I know. And I knew her when we would be networking a lot together when I lived in Santa Clarita. I had my tutoring business, and we kind of became friends. We go networking all the time, and Fran was one of those serial entrepreneurs, like most of us are. She'd come to me with a new product all the time. She was doing this, that, and the other thing. And then one day she comes running up to me and she said, Sue, look, I created this product. It's amazing. It's called Smoothie Spices to help you get healthy. And she's an expert in spices. Like she knows what every spice, every herb does for your body. Like which ones, when I had COVID years ago, the one time I had COVID when I was in, she's like, you got to take garlic. That is the best. She gave me different things to take. Well, what she had done back then is she had figured out if she blended certain spices together and you could put them in your smoothies, it would help you get healthy. Well, here was the problem. She gave me this thing that said smoothie spices for health benefits, and I put it in my cupboard because I was healthy. I was like, and I don't drink smoothies. I didn't even drink smoothies. So it went in my cupboard for, I'm not kidding, years. Okay. I didn't even open them. I didn't tell her that until later. But one day we were talking on the phone, and I said, "Oh my gosh, my dad, my younger sister and I just found out my dad has dementia." And we had gone there, and it was the scariest thing I'd ever been in my life because not only was it scary that my dad, who was a teacher and, ha had been going through this, and I saw what it was, scared me to death. I was terrified that I'm going to get dementia. Terrified. And I was telling her, I was crying, and she said, Sue, I will create a spice blend of spices that will help with your brain health. I'm going to just ask you how many pallets of that or how my cupboard's filled with them. Filled with them. I bought them all from her because that's what I needed. That spoke to me. A little bit later, my hair started breaking off. She goes, "Oh, I have one for hair and skin. I'm going to create that." And then we went further, and I was working with my friend John, and I said, "Did you know that one of the biggest search terms on YouTube is how to get rid of belly fat?" Did you guys know that? One, I think golf is one. This is years ago. It used to be golf was the first one, and then belly fat. And she goes, "Oh my gosh, I can create a spice blend that will help with belly fat." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you're gonna go crazy." And so here's what happened with her. She created all these different spice blends, but each one of them were for a different health benefit. Amazing, right? So I'm at my friend's house who's like 85 at the time, and her husband had diabetes. And I was telling her about the belly fat spices that somebody had written a testimonial that it also helped him sleep better. And my friend said, "Oh my gosh, I am not sleeping." And she started crying. She said, "I wake up at 2 in the morning. I can't just sleep. I get terrible insomnia. Does she have something could she bring those to me so I can sleep better?" And I said, "Well, she also has one for people with diabetes." So they became a good customer of hers, right? Because they, it spoke to her. She wanted to sleep better. Fran created one for sleeping. Okay. Then she got so busy because she's just 81 years old and she wrote a book about it. So if you want to learn how to make your own, blend your own spices for different things, she actually wrote this beautiful book. Anyway, I love that story about Fran because it made me go, oh, wow, that's exactly what you want. But here's the thing, you guys, I want to make sure you understand this too. You don't have just one ideal customer. I know you've probably been thinking of that throughout this whole thing. Yes, you have different customers, like for diabetes, for hair growth, for brain health, whatever it is, right? So, but each one of your marketing messages has to speak to that avatar, that ideal customer. Does that make sense? So you're not just going to have one marketing message that you use for everybody. You have to have different marketing messages for your different avatars. I hope that's making sense to you guys. One more quick story before we go to questions. And I'm going to show you a couple things. My friend Sherry, some of you know Sherry Pedrioli, she teaches relationship marketing. We do a lot of stuff with that. And she said, and I had written my book called Networking with Heart. And she said, well, I want to write one for relationship marketing. And I said, great. So she wrote the book and she was trying to come up with a title for the book. And she just wanted to call it Relationship Marketing for Business Owners. And my head went back to this. It went back to a long time ago. I used to do relationship marketing events. And the ones that I would just say, come to this event called Relationship Marketing for Business Owners, like no one would come. It was weird. Like I couldn't get people to show up until I created a whole bunch of events, and each one of them was relationship marketing for residential cleaning companies, relationship marketing for real, commercial realtors, whatever it was. And the whole world came. All these people came to my events because either they had been referred by someone that said, "Oh, Sue, you're a realtor. You should go to Sue's event." That's when my life changed too. So I said, Sherry, you need to niche the book. And Sherry owns a multi-million-dollar commercial plumbing company. So guess what she did? Built on trust, relationship marketing, stand out, stay top of mind, and win more jobs for contractors, trades, and services. Guess what's happened? Oh my gosh, she's getting speaking opportunities. She's was asked to be on the board of her builders exchanges. They just called her yesterday or the day before. She called me. She goes, "You aren't going to believe this. They want me to come and teach stuff, and pay me." Like she's getting so many opportunities because of this. Amazing, isn't it? It's just amazing. So the way that you get referrals, I want you to take this away from me. A couple of things to take away from me. You get referrals by being ridiculously clear. You don't say, "Hey, do you know anybody who has what I'm selling?" I get that in my messages on Alignable all the time, and people going, "Who do you know that wants to buy this thing that I'm selling?" It's like, I don't know. I mean, I get people saying, who's really depressed and needs a life coach. I'm like, I don't know. Nobody comes out and puts that on their Alignable profile that they're depressed and they need a life coach or whatever, right? You got to be really clear. You got to ask the right way. Like this one, like the one I said, I specialize in helping overweight women with knee problems like that health coach did. Be so, so, so clear when you talk to people, when you're in your Smart Connects, when you're at events, when you're creating your marketing messages, that when you say who you're looking for, who you want them to refer you to, that in their mind they can picture it. They can just immediately say, I know 10 people that I can refer you to. Okay? Am I getting in any of your brains? If anybody's brains exploding, I hope so. All right, good. All right, next one. So, okay. Oh, my biggest question, I'm just going to tell you the question that you're probably thinking is, well, how do I do all this stuff? How do I use these research tools? How do I find these ideal people? So I'm going to show you. So, okay. I've been doing clarity. I put it on my Alignable profile. I'm starting to do clarity sessions with people on their ideal customers and helping them make sure that their Alignable profiles are actually do exactly what I'm talking about in this. So there is one tool my friend John that I've been talking about has created this tool. I'm going to share this. Let's see. Actually, I'm going to show it to you in a minute. Let me finish the rest of these slides and then I'm just going to show you this tool because I've been using it in my clarity sessions to help me understand better and help my clients understand a little bit better. But let me go through the rest of this here first. So here's what I want. You could screenshot this if you want to. Here's your steps. Number one, identify your single most profitable customer from your current client database. If you're new and you don't have that, then you'll do the other steps to figure out who that is. Interview them to deeply understand their challenges, their goals, their language, what they're looking for, what gets them, helps them fall asleep at night, what wakes them, gets them up in the morning, everything. You want to know them so well. Number three, refine your marketing messages. Go take a look here. You want to make sure you're speaking to them and making sure you're talking about the outcome they desire, like no more the family time back in my marketing message. What is the outcome that they want? Okay. Here's a little trick that I do. I always kind of take myself out of my body and I put it in the body of that ideal customer and I look at it, not as me, because and I look at it going, does this make any sense? And does this speak to me? And number four, connect with your referral partners, those businesses that actually serve your ideal customer, and figure out how you can partner up and work together. Maybe you could do events together, maybe whatever it is, build a relationship, take them out for lunch, talk, figure out how to do that. Funny thing about that, my best referral partner for my after school program was my competitor. I know that sounds weird, but it was my direct competitor was my best referral partner. Why? I was a referral partner for him too, because he didn't help kids with their homework, but my business did. So anytime he would get someone that wanted the tutoring with the after school program, he would send them to me. And the people that just wanted a cheaper version and they just wanted daycare, I would send to them because I didn't want those people. So there's your tip right there. Okay, now I'm going to right here, Business with Purpose, by the way. You want to make sure you join that. I'll send this to you all in the in in the announcement afterwards, but let me go show you this tool real quick and then I'm gonna share this with you and then I'm gonna think of any questions that you have. So I just got to show this to you. So I my friend John, who became my best mentor, and he's a good friend of mine now, and I actually helped him put together this program called ACT, which actually goes through all of this stuff. And this whole avatar part of it was my favorite part. This is like the first step that I helped him build. So I'm just going to show you this because I just love it. So let's see, screen. This is a cool tool that I've been using. And here it is. This is the back end. So he built this. All of these are AI tools for everything. There's so many tools. I'll show you a fun one. There's an image tool that I put all my pictures in, and then it creates all these pictures of me that look like me, and I can use them in my marketing materials. There's all kinds of stuff in here, but I'm going to focus on this one right here, ACT Marketing Toolbox. This has, come on, all kinds of things. It helps you create link magnets. It helps you create your hook lines. It helps you create your big idea in your marketing messages. There's so much stuff in here. There's a market segmenter. Let me click on that. So here's an example of what I did. Let's go down to, let's see. Okay, I can do this one. This one was, oh, one of my clients I just was talking to that helps people, is this for smokers. That's what it was. So I put in there that he does hypnosis for smokers. Okay. He helps people who get over smoking. He can do that in like one session, he claims. Okay. So I was like, well, who's his ideal customer? So I just went in here and put that his market was people that are people that are smokers or that serve people who are smoking, that are smokers, right? So it generated the results and it gives you the top 10 from the most profitable, the ones that have the money that would be a really, really, really good ideal customer. The top 10, right? So one of them was corporate wellness contracts, pe corporate people that need to, that maybe their employers would pay for something like that. Then there was hospital clinic referrals. This is a good one. This was a really good one for him. Patients referred by surgeons, cardiologists, people that are maybe like if they don't stop smoking, they're going to die kind of thing, right? So he wants one of his best referral partners would be those doctors or therapists that work with those kind of people that they could just send them to him all the time. Um, there was another one here. Oh, insurance. That's what he really wants to focus on is insurance because I guess you can get way lower insurance if you're not smoking. So that's another one. You can save money. He's got all kinds of different things here that he could use. So I love this. That's a kind of a cool tool there that you can do that. And then you can take that, like the insurance ones, and you can go back in and you can build a buyer. This is really cool too. There's way more than that. I don't even have time to show you all this stuff. Happy to show it to you if you want to set up time with me. But you put in that market segment, you put in your product, and then it will give you a person and it'll show you exactly all the problems that they're facing, their fears, their emotions around it, all of these things, fears, uh, their ways that it affects their lives. Oh my gosh. And then you could just think you could take this stuff and put it in your marketing messages. It's just amazing. Anyway, I'm going to stop the share there. There's so much I could show you in there, but that's one of the things that I've been using recently. Happy to I'll share the link with you. I'll send you guys an email after this and give you all the links so you could go check it out. So we have like 7 minutes. First of all, did I help anybody change their mind about anything or give you any ahas? Any ahas? Put them in the chat if you have any ahas. If anybody has any questions, go down to where it says react, click raise hand because there's a lot of you on the screen here. Click raise hand and I'm happy to answer any questions. Go ahead, Jim, unmute and ask your question away.
Well, you didn't disappoint. I came here just to see you. I
Uh,
told Katie, our governor, that we would take Arizona from the worst education system in the country and make them number one. This is
all
a
right.
formal job offer to join my board of directors to help me do that.
Oh, wow. How fun. Do you have any questions about today? We can chat off this, but do you have any questions? Ahas?
I give you a 15 on a 10 scale. I'm going to tell Lee Cockrell from Disney, who I just invited to join my board, to watch this video. So if you send it out, I'll send it down to him. He gets $20,000 a day every time he steps on a stage. Sue,
Holy
you have blown me away.
wow, oh my God, I'm gonna cry. Thank you. Well, set up time to meet with me. If any of you guys want to do that, just send me a message. I'll just give you my email, sue@suebrooke.com. That's really the best place to reach me. I'm going to be honest with you. I worked for Alignable for 5 years. I have 35,000 people on Alignable. Messages on Alignable get lost. So if I don't get back to you, it's because I have so many, I can't even keep track. So I'll just tell you guys, sue@suebrooke.com is my email. That's the easiest way. It's Brooke with an E. Um, so thank you, Jim. That was very nice of you. Wow. Uh, who else has a question or an aha or anything that you want to share or ask? I am offering clarity sessions for I was doing this Black Friday thing and I'm just extending it because you know what? I love talking to people about this. I can't tell you how much I love it. And I just want to say if you want to have a session with me and we'll just focus the whole session on you and what your um who your ideal customer is, and I help you get your alignable profile so it actually works. Because alignable will not work if you don't get this right. I'm being secret tip here. It will not work if you don't get this right and you don't put it right on your profile. I'm telling you, you're all here on Alignable. You want to make it work for you. So happy to help with that. Tina, go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, do you have a Canary so I can make an appointment?
Okay. So the best thing to do is actually you can email me Sue at
Okay.
SueBrooke.com. And then I'm going to give you guys a link here.
Okay.
Um, those of you guys that don't know, businesswithpurpose.org is after my job ended at Lightable in July, I was like, what do I want to do now? And I turned 63 last year, proud of that. And you know what? I'm at a point in my life where I've got to help as many people as I can. I I'm seriously getting teary-eyed here. I hate seeing entrepreneurs struggling. I can't stand it. Okay, I just can't stand it. And I have to help as many people as I can. I just have to because when I learned all this stuff, I wrote my book recently. I wish I could do that. It was about I lived my purpose the last 5 years, living in a motorhome, traveling out to almost every single state in the US, a little bit of Canada. And I literally have been living my purpose, and it changed everything for me. And I want to help as many people as I possibly can do that in their life. And it really, I know as a business owner that I've been for my most of my life, is our businesses are not separate from our lives, are they? We live and breathe them, right? We wake up in the middle of the night thinking about it all the time. And so I'm going to give you a link, you guys. You were just asking. Let me put it in the chat here. This is where you can set up a clarity session with me. And then let me put my Sue at SueBrooke.com is my email. Please feel free to email me. Like I said, if you message me, I'm just gonna be honest. They totally get lost in messages. So email is the best way to go. All right, Alicia, go ahead. What's your question? And you'll have to unmute if you're talking.
Hi, how are you?
There you go. Good.
Good. I truly enjoyed what I've heard so far. Super
Oh, good.
amazing. Well, my business is Sugar Mama's Pound Cake Experience. Real quick, we offer 90 flavors of pound cake, including sweet and savory. Our most popular is pound cake with chicken salad. And how do I find my customers? It is so crazy. I mean, I've gone to city meetings here in Jacksonville. I've met so many people, but getting customers, not just customers, paying customers, paying customers, return customers, referrals.
Yep.
And it's just, I've been here for 3 years and it just seems like such a struggle. I've done the flea market, I've done events, I've done festivals, I
Okay. Yeah, hold on one second. So what do you sell one more time? Is it art? What did you say? What? Or no,
no,
it's food.
pound cake, 90 flavors.
Okay. So say that again. It's kind of muffly, so I'm not hearing exactly.
Okay, 90 flavors of pound cake.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm going to tell you something. Now, this is going to be about art, but I want you to just think about this. I want everybody to think about this. An artist came on this event once and said, I don't know how to find my ideal customers. The same with food. It's the same thing. You don't know who likes a certain kind of food. We all like different kind of food. We all like different kind of art, right? And I said, well, who's your best customer? And I'm going to go over here a little bit. If any of you want to keep going, need to go, I understand if you have to leave. I hope you won't, but just really quick here. I said, what's the thing that you sell the most of and make the most profit on and who buys it? And it turned out that she had this wood thing that veterans really like. Veterans, okay? It was like, I don't know what exactly it was. I think it was American flags or something. I don't know, whatever it was. She said, veterans love this. I sell this to a lot of veterans. That's where I make the most money. I said, why are you wasting your time trying to sell your art to everybody? Why aren't you just going to there's a million veterans groups and associations. And oh my God, they're everywhere. There's tons of them. And I said, why don't you just do that? So you got to figure out who that is. Who loves your pound cake? Okay. Who buys that? And go there or find places that will sell your pound cake for you. So you're not out there, with all those. I'm picturing all those places where you go and you set up your booth. Oh my gosh, that's exhausting. Find a way easier way to do that. So I hope that
Okay,
helps a little bit, but happy to chat with you if you want to talk more about it. Uh,
okay, thank you.
yeah, thank you, Jim.
Okay. Wow. You said motorhome. The president of FMCA is in my 20-member motorhome. You got to get invited. I live in Mesa. You're up in where? In
I'm
Phoenix?
in Phoenix right now. Yeah, I'll be here
Yeah,
for
we
a
got
while.
we got to have a coffee. But
Okay.
just like your passion, my daughter is buried overlooking Pikes Peak for all eternity, and she was pretty wired. She was a licensed clinical social worker, and we had to get a wedding venue. It was so big. We overfilled the church, we overfilled the outbuildings out into the garden. But on her deathbed, she said, "Daddy, you're connected. I want you to pay it forward with random acts of kindness." And
Very
that's
good.
why I run 6 world class companies. I got the governor elected. I'm on the Arizona Mexico Border Commission. I'm
Uh,
on 3 committees of Country First.
okay,
So
Jim, I'm
let's
sorry.
work together.
Yes, just email me, please. But our time is up today. I'm sorry, I don't want to keep everybody. Thank you so much. Thanks you everybody for being here. Please reach out if you want. I will send a link to that tool that I absolutely love with where you can do your market segmentations. I will send you guys all an email, and when this processes, I'll let you know where you can go watch it. And I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much. I hope I changed your life in some way or added value to your life at least. That's what my goal in everything I do. So I love you guys. And please, let me tell you this. Go to the Business with Purpose group. Sunday, we're doing a launch for my new nonprofit that I'm doing with a team of biggest influencers on Alignable. We're having a really super fun party on virtual party on Sunday, and a lot of prizes given away, including a hilarious session that I just told you about, my book, some other things that other people are giving out. You guys don't want to miss that. It's going to be on Sunday. I'll send you a link right after this. I'm going to send you guys an email, so watch your email. And if you don't get it or you need it, just email me. Okay? Deal? Did I help you guys? Oh, yes? Okay, yay. Thank you so much. My job is done. All right, have a wonderful day, you guys. I'm going to, and anybody in Phoenix, there is a an event tonight in up in the Happy Valley area. Um, uh, Jim, if you want to come to an Alliance event, it's up here. I'm going to be there in person. So, all right, guys. See you soon. Have a good day.